Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name. Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Owen with Sportscaster News, and today we're going to be talking about how many quarterbacks, well, I'm not going to say many, there's a few quarterbacks out there that have had success going after having a very long career with another team, move on to another team, a different one, at the end of their career and still have a very good finish to their career. Obviously, most recently, you've had Peyton Manning, who was with the Indianapolis Colts for a very long time, left, went to Denver Broncos, won a championship, broke a few records. You know, that's obvious, one of the most obvious situations. Another situation is Alex Smith. He went on to multiple teams in the NFL and had success with multiple teams, which is an amazing feat in and all itself. But we could go back as far as like Joe Montana. Had a great 4 Super Bowl, multiple MVPs, all pros with the San Francisco 49ers. Got injured. Steve Young comes in. He leaves, goes to Kansas City, and finds a lot of success there. Now, with that being said, the question is, can that be duplicated this year with Phillip Rivers leaving the Los Angeles Chargers and going to the Indianapolis Colts? Well, there's something that's actually helping Rivers as opposed to many other players in his situation currently. Due to the COVID-19 situation, there is nothing that people can do face to face. They're not able to really get together with their coaches and the entire team and play 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. Right? They can't get in and watch film. But Phillip Rivers has an advantage over most people. Phillip Rivers, his new head coach, Frank Reich, was also his offensive coordinator for the Chargers just a few years ago. So really, he knows the playbook. He knows that all he has to do is understand the changes in the verbal cadence, a few things that have been changed with how they say things. Yeah. But for the playbook, for the most part, he understands it already. So that's going to help him dramatically. When asked, when asked about how Rivers handles himself so far in the video chats, like what we're doing now, but with the team, T.Y. Hilton had this to say. He says, I feel like I've gotten to know him. I mean, he's already taken control of meetings. So he's asking questions, knowing the terminology. He's been in this offense. Just some things we've changed up with different names. So he's just getting those down. And once he gets those down, he'll be ready to go. Now, I don't know if he has yet, but I'm sure he probably has since other quarterbacks like Tom Brady and them have done it. But he can get together with a center, some of his receivers, as long as he doesn't have too many people, less than 10 people with him, and just 2 throw-arounds in his backyard or something. That will help out a lot. It'll also help out a lot to have the center, because that is one of the most important relationships on a football field, is the quarterback-center relationship. You don't want to mess up the cadence. The center needs to know the cadence. The quarterback needs to know how his center leans. We do not want miscommunication there, because that's how the football hits the ground in the process of hiking the football. When asked about this, Kelly said, "Obviously, Phil has a different verbal cadence than what I'm used to. But that's football, man. That's just the way it is. We're getting paid as professionals to figure it out. There are going to be some learning curves for sure, but as soon as we can get out on the field, or even if it's just me and Phil sitting down and running through a few things, I think that's really going to help out." Now, in order for Philip to have a successful career in Indy, a few things need to go right. But one thing that has already went right is the fact that he went to a team with one of the best NFL offensive lines. This might be the best offensive line Philip Rivers has ever been part of. I mean, it's not just Ryan Kelly. We're looking at Quentin Nelson, Anthony Costanzo, Mark Glowinski, Braden Smith. All 5 of those guys started all 16 games last season. The only team in the NFL to have all 5 of their starters start all 16 games. And that's huge. And they were rated as like the first or second best run blocking unit in the NFL. That is also going to help out Philip Rivers, because that run blocking unit, along with that running back stable, is going to be huge. Jordan Wilkins, one of the least known names on this team, leads the NFL the past 2 seasons with the most yards per carry for any running back, with at least 50 yards or 50 carries per season. Nyheim Hines, he's not your first and second down back. He's a third down back, but he is a great third down option out of the backfield. Someone that Philip Rivers can dump the ball off to pick up what he needs for a first down. And then, of course, you have Marlon Mack, who had nearly 1,100 yards in just 14 games, being a workhorse. And on top of that, out of all those carries he had last season, not once did he drop the football. Not one fumble. And then, of course, now highlighting that running back stable is the running back that the Indianapolis Colts moved up 3 spaces to the 41st pick of the draft, Jonathan Taylor, who many experts believe was the best running back in the 2020 draft class. So Philip Rivers is going to have a ton of running backs to hand the football off to behind an absolute stud of an offensive line. So he's not going to have to throw the football nearly as much as he used to. Back in San Diego, or Los Angeles, where he found himself down many times in the fourth quarter, having to throw the football deep, and that's where he got a lot of his interceptions. Now, that's not to say that he can't throw the football, or that he doesn't have wide receiver options. All those injuries that the Colts had last year at the wide receiver position, they don't have them no more. Paris Campbell, last year's second round wide receiver pick, he missed most of the season due to injuries. Very explosive wide receiver. T.Y. Hilton missed about half the season due to injuries. Back to Campbell. Campbell's been running routes now for about 2 months. He says he's 100% healthy. Don't forget, you got the guy who stepped up from the 4th receiving spot because of injuries to become the number 1 receiver on this team in Zach Pascal last year. And then, of course, this past season's Indianapolis Colts 34th pick of the draft, Michael Pittman Jr. You throw in Jack Doyle on the side, and Philip Rivers got himself people to throw the football to, right? Now, just because he has weapons to throw the football to doesn't mean he's going to throw it deep. Not a lot. Think about this. Back in 2018, Andrew Luck come back from injury. Frank Reich, new head coach for him. Andrew Luck wins Comeback Player of the Year, but not because he was throwing the ball deep all the time. No. His first 4 or 5 games of the season, he was throwing little short dump-off passes. Highly accurate, less chance for an interception, allowing his players to get yak yards. That's what Frank Reich's offense is about. The short, quick, high percentage pass. Phillip Rivers will be able to use that exorbitantly because of this run game. You're going to see teams come up, 7, 8, 9 people in the box. He'll see it. He'll call the play out of the run and use the play action pass to hit the wide receivers who are covered one-on-one in man coverage or in a light zone, and just pick that defense apart. Phillip Rivers has the ability to do that. Now, Phillip does love to throw the football deep, and there will be ample opportunities because of the run game and that play action pass, drawing them safeties up. If you see T.Y. Hilton going out on a post, or if you see Michael Pittman Jr. running a go route, and they got to step on their guy because they're both 4-3 runners, same as Paris Campbell, 4-3 runner. He could hit him deep. He just don't need to. He won't have to do it 5, 6, 7 times a game like he was at San Diego because he was down so much. In Indianapolis, he'll take those opportunities when they're available. He doesn't have to force them. All he's got to do in Indy is play and rely on the players around him. He can trust in the team around him now, knowing that he's got the run game that's got their back. They're going to do their job. The offensive line is going to do their job. The wide receivers and tight ends, they're going to do their job. Phillip Rivers is not going to have to put this team on his back. He's not going to have to go out and score 35, 40 points a game to win games either. Why? Because Indianapolis now has one of the best, probably top 5 defensive front sevens in the NFL. When you guys, they went out and got DeForest Buckner, who is arguably the second best defensive tackle in football, right behind Aaron Donald. And then you got Justin Houston and Kamoko Toure on the outsides. And then the speed at linebacker with Bobby Okereke and Darius Leonard. And that Mike, I'm telling you, Anthony Walker Jr., solid. Has had well over 100. Actually, if I remember right, Anthony Walker led the team last year in tackles over Darius Leonard. So this linebacking core is exceptional. This defensive front is exceptional, which means they're going to be able to get pressure on pass rush and stop the run. That's going to keep teams from moving the football down the field and scoring so much. Because of that, Phillip Rivers ain't going to have to throw a whole bunch. He's not going to have to score all that much. He'll take it as it comes. So, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I want to thank ST Eder 0280 for joining the stream and giving me a follow. Run and Hide, thanks for joining the stream as well. If you are a guest and unable to follow me or hit the like button, don't forget, spend 30 seconds, make a profile on Sportscaster. That way you can give me a follow and be notified next time I go live. And you can also go over here in the chat, live chat, and give me your thoughts on that day's conversation. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen with Sportscaster News, and as usual, I want you to have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.